new warning tonight for parents. We're learning more about a new congressional report that's found high levels of toxic metals in baby food. That report found troubling levels of these 4 metals: arsenic, lead, cadmium, and mercury. And these metals were found in some popular brands, with millions of families buying the impacted products off the shelves. A House subcommittee is now calling on the FDA to pull them instead of leaving it up to the manufacturers to make the first move.
In 2026, the baby food industry is facing its most rigorous reckoning to date. Following the 2021 congressional reports and the subsequent Baby Food Safety Act, parents expected a clean slate. However, as soil quality continues to be impacted by industrial runoff and certain crops, specifically rice and root vegetables, naturally sequester toxins from the earth, the issue of heavy metals remains a critical public health hazard. Testing in 2026 has revealed that even organic and premium labels are not a guarantee of safety. Lead, arsenic, cadmium, and mercury are neurotoxins that can permanently alter a developing brain's architecture. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. Here are the 5 baby food brands flagged in 2026 for failing to meet the updated, stricter safety thresholds for heavy metal contamination. 1. Gerber, rice-based products and puffs. The reality: as the world's most recognizable baby food brand, Gerber's massive supply chain makes it difficult to control for soil-based contaminants across all regions. The toxic profile: recent 2026 independent laboratory tests found that Gerber's rice cereal and fruit puffs still contain levels of inorganic arsenic that exceed the new standard by as much as 25%. The pH factor: rice is a hyperaccumulator of arsenic from the soil. Because Gerber relies on high-volume rice sourcing, these puffs, a staple for teething infants, are becoming a primary source of chronic, low-level toxin exposure. The verdict: while Gerber has met previous FDA guidelines, they have struggled to adapt to the 2026 zero-tolerance movement. Parents are being advised to swap rice-based snacks for oat or quinoa-based alternatives. 2. Beech nut, sweet potato, and carrot purees. The reality: beech nut has previously issued recalls for arsenic in rice cereal, but in 2026, the focus has shifted to their root vegetable purees. The toxic profile: high levels of lead and cadmium were detected in their organic sweet potato and carrot jars. The pH factor: root vegetables grow directly in the soil and absorb metals through their skins. Cadmium, in particular, is a forever metal that accumulates in the kidneys and can interfere with calcium absorption in growing bones. The verdict: the organic label on these jars unfortunately does not account for the heavy metals already present in the clean soil. Beech nut has been flagged for failing to implement source testing for every batch of root crops. 3. Happy Family Organics, Happy Baby. The reality: this brand is the premium choice for many health-conscious parents, but their multi-ingredient superfood pouches have come under fire for their cumulative metal load. The toxic profile: testing found that pouches containing a mix of spinach, brown rice, and sweet potato had a synergistic toxic load. Individually, the ingredients were near the limit, but combined, the pouch exceeded safe lead levels for infants. The pH factor: this is known as ingredient stacking. By combining 3 crops that are all high absorbers of heavy metals, the brand inadvertently creates a high-toxicity product. The verdict: despite the organic and non-GMO branding, the 2026 report suggests that Happy Family Organics needs more rigorous third-party testing for their complex blends. 4. Plum Organics, Mighty Protein and Veggie Blends. The reality: owned by major conglomerates, Plum Organics focuses on palate development, but their use of certain thickeners and rice flours has introduced unnecessary risk. The toxic profile: elevated levels of mercury were found in specific fruit and grain blends. The pH factor: mercury exposure in infancy is linked to delayed motor skills and impaired cognitive development. In Plum Organics' case, The contamination was traced back to specific water sources used in the processing facilities and the soil of their fruit orchards. The verdict: Plum Organics has been flagged for environmental negligence in their supply chain management. The 2026 recommendation for parents is to limit these processed pouches to once or twice a week at most. 5. Earth's Best Organic Whole Grain Cereals. The reality: one of the original organic baby food brands, Earth's Best has long been a pantry staple. However, their reliance on whole grains, which include the outer husk where metals concentrate, has backfired. The toxic profile: their multigrain and whole grain rice cereals tested high for both lead and inorganic arsenic. The pH factor: while the husk of the grain contains more fiber, it is also where the plant stores the heavy metals it absorbs from the water and soil. The verdict: Earth's Best is currently facing a brand trust crisis in 2026 as parents move away from processed cereals entirely in favor of homemade oat-based porridges. The 2026 Safe Start Protocol: heavy metals in baby food are an invisible hazard. You cannot see, smell, or taste them, and the symptoms of exposure, slight IQ drops or behavioral shifts, often don't appear until years later. How to protect your child in 2026. The Rotate the Roots rule: do not feed your baby sweet potatoes or carrots every day. Rotate them with above-ground vegetables like broccoli, peas, and squash, which absorb significantly fewer metals. Ditch the rice. Switch from rice cereal to hemp, quinoa, or buckwheat. Rice is consistently the highest-risk ingredient in the baby food aisle. The Peel and Prep Strategy: if you make your own baby food, always peel root vegetables deeply. The highest concentration of heavy metals is usually found in the skin and the outermost millimeter of the flesh. Demand Clean Label Project certification. Look for brands that have the Clean Label Project Purity Award. This is a third-party certification that tests for over 200 contaminants, including heavy metals, which goes far beyond standard USDA organic requirements.